Hi, I'm George with Acme Guitar Works. I'm going to show you this guitar that we just hot rodded. This is a classic 60s Telecaster, and that means that it's one of the Mexican guitars that Fender makes in Sonata. We are an authorized Fender dealer, and we sell these guitars with full factory warranties, but we also hot rod them. But the classic 60s Tele is basically, you know, a reissue guitar. And so it comes from Fender set up the way that they made the guitars then. And what that means is that they come with a 7 1/4 inch fretboard radius, which is what all of the vintage Fenders came with. But most modern Fenders come with a flatter 9 1/2 inch radius. And the 9 1/2 inch radius allows you to get the strings a little bit lower, so you can get the action where it's more comfortable for many modern players without the strings fretting out when you bend them. The other thing that the Classic Series guitars come with is small fret wire. And most players, when they bend strings, prefer taller frets. Our experience is that once people really experience nice tall fret wire for if they play in a style where they bend strings a lot, it's hard to go back to small frets after that. The big frets just feel more comfortable, they're easier to bend on, there's less friction of your fingers sliding against the wood, and also you can kind of get up underneath the strings and push them up across the fretboard, and it's just physically easier to play. This guitar has been re-radiused, so we took the original frets out, we re-radiused the fretboard from 7 1/4 to 9 1/2, so it's the fretboard radius that most modern Fender players are going to be familiar with, and it's going to feel familiar and comfortable. And then we refretted it with taller fret wire. This is Dunlop 6105 fret wire. So now the guitar is going to be more comfortable for most players who play in a modern playing style. And then it's also going to sound better because we replaced the pickups and we replaced the wiring. The pickups that are in it are Duncan pickups. This is a Duncan, just their Vintage Tele neck pickup, and this is their 54 Tele bridge pickup. One of them is reverse wound, reverse polarity relative to the other, so when you combine them you do get hum canceling. And we've chosen to add a four-way switch so you can combine them in either series or parallel. Parallel is a standard method. If you had a 3-position switch in the middle position, you would have these both on in parallel, but if you combine them in series, it's just a 4th tone or tonal option, and it gives you a louder, punchier tone that's going to push your amp a little bit harder. So, just put it in perspective. That's parallel. That's series. So again, parallel. You can hear when I go to series that it gets a little bit louder, it also gets fuller. So here's parallel again, this is the conventional Tele wiring. You hear that difference, that's the difference between series and parallel. A Fender normally wires the 4-way switch where all the way back is the bridge, then you have these two in parallel, and then you have that, and that's the traditional 3-position Tele, and then all the way forward is the series position where you're combining these two. My personal experience is that I use the neck pickup more than the series position, so I'd rather be able to just hit the switch all the way forward, and that's the neck pickup, all the way back, and that's the bridge pickup, and then the two interior positions are series and parallel. We rewired it with a 4-way switch. We replaced the pots, the jack, everything. We completely rewired the guitar so it's wired right with the right components. You know, some of the component selections on some of the Mexican guitars are, you know, they got to hit a price point, right? And so there's a little bit of a compromise sometimes, and we fixed that. We used the good stuff. With the Tele bridge also, this guitar comes with the conventional Fender bridge with 3 saddles. So each saddle is being shared by 2 strings, and you can't get the guitar properly intonated. So on vintage Fenders, if you have a tune, I mean, if you have a chord in tune someplace on the neck, and you play that same chord form somewhere else on the neck, it would be out of tune because you can't adjust the intonation properly on those guitars. So what we've done is we've replaced the saddles with brass saddles from Callaham that are compensated. And so it changes the length of each of the 6 strings, are sort of individually set. And so when I adjust the saddles now, I can get it to really intonate properly. And we use a Peterson 490 strobe tuner to do all intonation adjustments, and we can get it. It's pretty doggone close. It's way closer than it is with the original style saddles. With the Teles, they're just horribly out of tune, and with the Callaham saddles, it pretty much fixes it. And the guitar plays. And so it plays in tune everywhere on the neck. It really makes all the difference in the world. How cool is this guitar? I just love this black with the mint green pickguard, the 60s look. I just think this is the most killer looking Telecaster. I love it. It's beautiful. It feels fantastic. We adjust the nut slots, so the action down here, if you play bar chords down here, it's just effortless. The action on this guitar is nice and low because of the flatter fretboard radius, and because when we install the frets, of course we can do a proper fret level crown and polish. I mean, the thing is just set up. I think any player would just love the way it feels. That's the bridge pickup. Here's the parallel setting. Here's the series position. And here's the neck pickup. Now if I get into the pedal a little bit, that'll give you an idea what the guitar sounds like. Again, it looks great. It feels fantastic. It sounds great. It's just a killer guitar. It's not a whole lot of money, and it's hard to beat these things, these Mexican guitars. So, thanks for watching.